It's Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast. Hello, welcome back.
What is up?
Today's like a true chit-chatty day. Are you okay?
I washed my hair and it smells good.
I kept getting whiffs of you for the last episode.
Nice.
I was like, she smells so good today.
I showered.
I felt like it wasn't the time to interrupt you to be like,
oh,
enough about this post-show. You smell really good.
You sniffs good.
But I'm excited because I feel like, we kind of had one last week's episode talking about some bodybuilding quote unquote tea or just like updates. But today, we actually have some tea and some interesting topics that I'm really excited about that Julia doesn't even know some of them. So I'm excited to hear your opinions.
Let me at them.
The first thing we're starting with, which you could tell by the title and probably the reason you clicked on this one, we now have the first fit model division professional.
Ooh.
The first woman to go pro, her name is Angie Miranda. She made history, I think it was last week at this point of filming, which was 2 weeks ago by the time you're listening to this. I'm so sorry. Whenever we're late on topics, I feel really guilty about it. So who knows? There might be another pro at this point.
I know.
But I want to just go over our thoughts and how she looked. We'll obviously put either a photo or a video of her on the Know Your Power stories, or you could just search up her Instagram is Angie Miranda with some underscores. I think she nailed exactly what they were going for with this division. I think she's a great first pro and a good showcase on what this division's going to be. And I think it is in my head, she's just giving classic bikini model, like Baywatch almost type of vibe where she has a good foundation, a good shape. Her posing I thought was really good. It is very basic and stripped down, but I think that's the point. Her bikini also, without seeing any of the glitz, it's actually so pretty. It
is really pretty.
She's wearing
a pink suit.
Yeah. I think she looked great. I think she's very much so giving classic beautiful bikini model, and that's kind of what they were going for.
Yeah, and what's cool is I haven't seen that level of coverage on the backside in forever, so it's so weird seeing it, but a little refreshing.
Yeah, it is. I think it's cool.
Wait, and also it looks like her suit is sparkly in that video. Is it sparkly?
It's not
because it's supposed to be plain color.
I think it's just really glossy.
Oh, she has
very shiny.
She did the glossy kind of suit.
I'll include it for those listening on Spotify or Apple. I'll also put it on the YouTube video. So either go to our Instagram or YouTube to see kind of what she's looking like. But even seeing some of the other women around her on stage, I felt like all of them had fit the division really well. They have decent shoulder muscle, good, a little bit of a cap.
Yeah, but they're not as capped as bikinis are.
Yeah, and then they all have really prominent obliques without being too crazy lean. I think it just fit really well, and I would love to, and I should have done this before this episode, I would love to go back and look at the first bikini Olympian or the first bikini pro.
Was
she the first ever?
I thought she
wait, really?
I don't know if she was the first ever, but remember when we did the episode on the fit model division, what was expected, and they said that's the physique they were looking for was Ashley Coldwater when she won the Olympia.
We got in trouble
last time. Yeah.
Colt Wasser, I believe
God,
is how you say it.
If she listened, she probably wouldn't care. So why do you care so much?
And I literally love her so much. I'm just so bad at pronouncing names, so I do apologize.
If someone said my name wrong, I really wouldn't care.
Me either. But I understand. I understand getting angry on the behalf of someone. So just to
Kendall's
correct us,
the nice one. I'm
Ashley
whatever.
Colt Wasser. I'm just bad at pronouncing things. Guys, people love pointing it out.
We literally say everything wrong. Hey,
we're out here trying.
We're just two girlies on the internet.
All I do know is Ashley has an insane physique and always has. So yeah, she was displayed as the standard for this, and I do feel like this woman, Angie's physique, does kind of align with throwback Ashley's physique.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And I really liked her posing too. Even though she only hit 2 poses technically. Like
Yep.
they only hit the
Just
front
front and
pose
back.
and they go to the back and then they go back to the front. But I love how she did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a slight little transition that she did, but it wasn't like, the stuff that you see with wellness where like super over the top, all the, the things. But I really liked it. It was refreshing.
I haven't seen much feedback from other people either, which I think is a good thing, because I feel like so many people, like we talked about when we talked about this division being announced, they had a lot to say and a lot of negative things to say. So hopefully she's only ever getting praise, and I think she looks great, and I'm excited to see like the future of that division, and hopefully it does stay where it's supposed to stay and not become too muscular, because then it does infringe on almost like then what would bikini become? What would wellness become if this became too muscular?
She's so cute.
She is. She's also just like gorgeous. So.
I'm also looking at, that's insane. And I'm looking at her Instagram and
she's a mother.
Yeah. I'm also just wondering too, like what was she doing before this? You know what I mean? Like, was she prepping for this or was she a bikini competitor and was like I want to know more.
It looks like she might have been a bikini competitor.
Yeah. And maybe she was like, I'm going to fit in this division better and was like, I'm going to go for it. And she ends up becoming the first.
Yeah. If you scroll, it looks like she has done multiple shows in the past, which I think is like the whole point of this division is for people who are maybe constantly told that they either don't fit into bikini or they're not muscular enough for bikini, or maybe they just didn't enjoy how their physique felt and looked getting that shredded, where this gives them an opportunity to maybe have a healthier look to them. And obviously she was extremely successful in it, becoming the first pro. And I'm just excited to see like the continuation of the division. And I think obviously like she's a mother and I don't know how old she is at all, but I also still seeing now the bikini and the posing, I still stand by that. I think it's great for really young competitors too, who maybe don't want to have like a tiny little thong on stage, or the preparation and the amount of money it costs to get the bedazzled bikinis and just all of these little things. I could see this being really great for like very new competitors as well as these competitors who maybe did bikini and weren't as successful as expected or didn't love it. You know?
Like it would be good for young girls to go into, because it can be weird being like you did it, like being very, very young and going on
and
stage.
It was weird.
Like, that's uncomfy, and it's uncomfy for just. It could be uncomfortable at any age. It can also be a really good division for, like Kendall was saying, maybe you don't want to wait forever to compete so that you have enough muscle for even bikini, because even that has gone to the next level, and that's why they created this in the first place.
Exactly. Anyway, overall, I'm happy and
Super cool.
I'm happy for her. The next thing we have, this one's kind of like a fun influencer tea topic, and I wasn't going to bring this up because I never saw these videos firsthand, but I've seen so many other podcasts talk about it. And they're not even in the fitness space, so it's crazy to me. So when TikTok was getting banned, did you see that trend where people were like kind of exposing their secrets? Yeah. It was to like, I think it's a Family Guy audio. I could totally be wrong. Where it's like, I never liked the whatever.
I never liked it.
I can't remember what the actual thing is. But a lot of influencers were using this as a chance to like maybe expose or just like share some secrets that they had never shared with their followers before. And the premise of it was TikTok's getting banned anyway. People aren't going to see this, or they're not going to remember, or like this platform's dead anyway, so I don't care. And with
some people
that,
went too hard.
Exactly. Some people were just like, I dated that one guy or whatever, but like multiple fitness influencers were exposing the fact that they've had like either weight loss surgeries or BBLs or like,
seriously?
Like it's literally crazy to me. I don't know her exact name, and I probably wouldn't share it anyway, because that's not who we are. We cover tea from afar. We're not going to like actually ever expose people. But there was one that is famous enough apparently, and I think had millions of followers on TikTok, who like has sold leg programs, glute programs, who was like, I have a BBL, which is just like insane for so many reasons. And obviously it's like lighthearted and funny to talk about, but at the same time, that's scammy. That's so scammy to me.
The fact that she had the guts to do that, though.
I'm like, did you not think anyone was going to...
You would think that that'd be something that she would take to her grave.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But maybe I don't know. Like, did she...
And probably the like immediate embarrassment or regret when people started like, when it gained traction or when they realized that TikTok wasn't actually banned and came back the next day. Where I'm assuming, again, I never dug into this. I listen to podcasts all day, and a lot of them are just like influencers who, like, I've talked about the canceled podcast, and they even brought this up.
Oh, wow.
And they're not related to the fitness industry at all, but she's such a well-known name where it's like, whoa, that's crazy. So I never saw the video firsthand, but I've heard a lot about it and other influencers too. And there's another one that happened yesterday. There's like so much tea going on.
More?
Again, not going to share names. I had never heard of her before this. But there's another fitness influencer who also, like, all of her videos are like how I grew my shelf and how like glute programs and like her workouts and all these things, as a lot of fitness influencers are. I mean, we're part of that world a little bit. And she got exposed because her doctor posted her, which is crazy. So it's just one of those things, like, obviously it's fun to talk about.
Can't.
It's fun for us to talk about because it's insane.
The doctor!
But also, like, that's one of those things of be careful who you follow and listen to and buy programs of. Like, I feel like there is a difference a little bit between, like, quote unquote fitness influencer, which I'm sure I fall more into these days, and bodybuilders. Like, that is a different space and a different world because like, that's just, I don't know, it's crazy to me.
I can't.
Not the doctor, like, tagging her.
Doctor. He's like, hi, Dr. Blah, blah, blah here. So,
she's been
Tiffany
taking credit.
here has been taking credit for my gorgeous work. Yeah. And I would like to talk about it.
I just think it's so great because it's one of those things we're always supportive of, like, do whatever you want to your body, to your face, to literally anything. But there is something.
As long as it don't affect me, why would it?
There is something of, like, wow, you're like lying to your followers that drastically is just mind blowing to me. And it's one of those good reminders of we don't know these people
it would be like
in real life.
How to grow your shelf. Like what I'm imagining is like a TikTok video that's like, this is how I grew my shelf. When
before
like,
and afters.
You got a shelf BBL. Yeah. I don't know. Like that.
And it's crazy because it's one of those things where there are definitely like the people of the world where we go like, well, obviously she had surgery and that's why she looks like that.
Sometimes like genuinely.
This girl, mind blowing to me. Okay. I would have never thought.
So for example, if you guys know who Kelly Matthews is on Instagram, she's an honor active athlete.
Obsessed with her.
She's so sweet. And we got to meet her she lives in Austin. Like she lives in Austin.
I've seen her at gyms.
Yeah. Like
times.
We've been like in her circle. She has the physique that she gets asked a lot if she has a BBL.
She has the craziest glutes I've ever seen.
And I remember one time she posted this video about like why people keep asking me if I have a BBL, and she goes, and then this is my dad, and she shows like a photo of her dad, and he has like a badonkadonk, you know what I mean? And it's like there are a lot of people, and I know she works.
She is an athlete.
If you go watch her content, you know that she works for it. And you also know, like, I mean, from that video, that's like genetically, like, she's gifted.
Yeah.
Same thing too, where like for me, where I've always had quads. Like even when I was like little, I work for these quads and I have spent years training and also genetically gifted in that area. Yeah. You know? So there's those things to consider, and then there's the doctor coming out about
it's just my work. It's crazy. And not to like taint the whole industry, because I know 99% of the women who do share their progress, it is honest and true, and they work really, really hard. I mean, it's just a shame saying, I mean, I was just shocked, honestly. Like, I thought I had a good detector of what's real and what's not, and I was completely shocked.
Dang.
So
that would be like, no, I can't even.
If you had quad implants.
What if I was like, my lips are real? No, I did not get lip filler. I have not been getting lip filler for years.
It's just, I love an honest influencer. And it does, I think it's crazy that most of these women expose themselves. Like, that's the craziest part.
That's crazy. You'd think she'd take it to her grave. I really...
I maybe should have, to be honest, because no one suspected you beforehand. Okay, the next topic is a bit more serious as far as like scamminess and influencerness, and I want to cover this one. I again will not be sharing any names, but this one's very current, like videos coming out this morning about it. And I want to share this more so that everyone listening can protect themselves, because whether you have a large platform or not, or maybe you aspire to have one, I feel like this was really insightful, where it's not something I don't think I would have gotten trapped into, but maybe at 17 I would have. And some of the women who are sharing their experiences are or were 17, 18, 19 at the time. So this one's like a bit intense. And again, stories are still coming out, so I don't know everything. So I'm going to talk pretty generally. Basically, there are these large fitness influencers, again, pretty young, who like I know of, or I follow some of them, who were getting hacked, which is like an issue. It doesn't happen super frequently, but they were getting hacked where like someone was coming into their Instagram account, and for some of them, they were sharing AI photos on their story, like posting as them. I've had girls actually like DM me before, and I can tell they were hacked, where it's like, I want to send you this sponsorship with shoes. And I'm like, huh? Like, this is not your content at all. So I know hacking is a thing. So that's the first thing, like be wary, check your accounts and your securities, change your passwords, like do those things frequently. Again, whether you have like 10 followers or 10 million followers, anyone could get hacked. So basically these influencers, and this is all from my perspective of watching all these videos, they were getting hacked. They were very publicly hacked because these hackers were posting on their stories and main feeds and stuff. So scary. This quote unquote cybersecurity guy, or like some sort of like account protection guy, was reaching out to these young influencers.
This is what's happening. They're the ones causing the problem, and then they're like, here, let me solve the problem.
See, we already know these things, but we're also a little later into our 20s and have had reality checks before. But imagine being 17 and your account's hacked, and this guy reaches out and he's like, hey, give me your passwords and stuff. I can get in. I can get this out for you. Like, here's my credentials. Here's the people I've worked with, right? So then they get into their account, they get rid of the hacker. So then you as the influencer,
but I'm assuming they pay them.
Oh no, this gets crazier than that. So they're in their account, but they're like, oh, but I'm not getting hacked now. So this person can stay in my account or stay having access or whatever, to keep preventing me from getting hacked, because that's what they're telling me they're doing. They then mute these other smaller influencers and message them as though they are the influencer, saying, I think you're getting hacked. Here's my guy. So then they're giving him access to their account. And he basically just kind of spider-webbed his way into a lot of young women's fitness accounts, which is like crazy. Because, okay, if I'm 17 and I have like 10,000 followers, and I get a message from you being like, hey, my cybersecurity guy's saying that you're getting hacked.
Wait, so he muted them? I'm confused about that
That's where
part.
I'm confused
what is the
too.
Mute?
This is where some of like the drama of it comes in, is like the small influencers came out first. And I say small respectively. I don't actually know any of these influencers, so I'm assuming that their platforms are smaller. They all came out trying to expose these bigger influencers, and these bigger influencers are like, no, this was this guy.
Oh, they're like, what are you
We
talking
never
about?
messaged you. I don't know what you're talking about. And now they're going into their accounts and realizing that they were either blocked, or they had restrictive access, or they were muting them so that they weren't seeing these messages that this quote unquote cybersecurity guy was sending.
When you mute or like restrict someone, they won't ever pop up in your main messages.
Yeah.
So maybe by him doing that, when he had the access, that he knew, okay, it's going to pop up in their hidden requests or requests.
Exactly.
And honestly, not a lot of influencers answer their DMs, so it's less likely that they would see what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just been like multiple stories coming out in this big spider web. And obviously this is me taking everyone at their like honest face value, but I see no purpose to lie about this, where I think a lot of people are pointing fingers.
Sorry.
What?
I just read ahead.
Wait, what's ahead?
I read ahead and got excited.
Oh, anyway, what was I saying? Oh, a lot of people are pointing fingers at these bigger influencers being like, you're scamming people. And they're like, this guy's scamming us, scamming people, basically. So it's just, again, I wanted to talk about it, not in a sense of like, this is drama and tea, but like, that's scary.
That is so scary.
And that's like,
I feel
seriously,
so bad for these girls.
Such an infringement on privacy, probably so traumatizing, which is why I don't want to share any of their names. But like one of the girls I follow, and I remember her getting hacked. I remember her going through all of that last year. And the fact that like this guy that you hire to hopefully help you is scamming other people is just like really slimy on your behalf too. And obviously, hopefully she's telling the truth with her story.
Yeah.
I would like to think so. Again, I see no reason why she would lie. And I think even if she was a part of it or maybe didn't have the best response to it, she was literally 17 or 18 when this had happened, which is so young and impressionable, where you don't know to go to the police always, or you don't know that this guy's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So just be really careful, be really wary of like weird DMs you're getting from people. Either they're hacked or it's not someone you want to associate with anyway.
That's so scary.
Right?
He's like, let me create this problem and solve the problem.
Crazy. And a lot of them are like breathed affinity athletes, like civil regime athletes. I don't know if he was just like going through like their athlete list and messaging people, but it's just like really, really scary because I think about younger me and like I had definitely been scammed by fake sponsorships and like messages like that, but definitely nothing on this level where they're getting into my system and having access to my photos and videos and there's threatening going on. Like it's very serious. So,
and a lot of times, like when you are I guess it's like a social media influencer, like a lot of times your business is that. So there's also risks to that. That's why like having an email list is super important, having other social media platforms, because so many fitness influencers, me included at a certain time, you put so much on this app that you don't control.
Yeah.
Look, TikTok could have gotten taken away. I really didn't believe it was going to, but a lot of people built their business and got TikTok famous and stuff, and a lot of their money is from TikTok. Like
they're
pay
not
them
on any other
sponsorships,
platform.
all of the things. Like even for me, for example, I have certain contracts with companies where I'm required as a part of the contract to post a certain amount on TikTok, a certain amount on Instagram. So at any point in time, these things can be taken away from you. So I do understand from their perspective, that panic and that fear of just being, someone's telling me they could fix this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they do have businesses on social media or whatever it is, but they could, and it could be their livelihood that's also at stake. So you have someone coming in being like, I'm going to solve the problem I created for you.
Well, that
you
too, it's like,
it
was he the initial hacker? Like, probably. I don't know. And the fact that like
have they found this scumbag?
I don't think so, because a lot of this is fresh. And I think a lot of the story is fresh, but a lot of this happened like 6 months ago. And I'm sure it's still going on, just maybe less talked about.
He made it so it was kind of a hard thing to figure out.
Yeah, because if you are actually a really experienced tech guy, like if you do work in cybersecurity space in general, like you could very easily hack anyone. So even if they kick you out of the system, what's to say he's not hacking his way back in?
I'm also wondering, is it fitness influencer specific?
These
I'm also wondering why
fitness
it's fitness influencer specific, because that's also has a level of creep.
Yeah.
It's creepy no matter what.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Is it this industry in specific? I have so many questions.
But that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I was like, that's crazy that he's targeting like specifically young fitness girls. Like that's crazy. I don't know. It definitely rubs me the wrong way. And I'm glad people feel like safe enough or secure enough to speak up about it, because it's like, I would have never known. All these other girls would have never known. They probably see these messages and go, oh, I'm getting hacked. I should hire this guy that this girl hired. And then there's also just like weird stuff with like requesting certain like photos from these girls as payment, like just weird, which again, when you are really young, you don't realize like this is a huge red flag.
Oh my God.
So it's just, I just wanted to talk about it because I thought it was insane. I like was falling into a hole last night watching like videos and hearing what people were saying about it. And I was like, wow. And it hasn't even blown up yet. So I'm like, not excited to see, but I'm curious to see what comes out of this.
I also want to see if jail. Straight to jail.
That is
right to
illegal.
jail.
That is an infringement on private property.
I also want to know, like, is it possible to find him?
Yeah.
Him or her?
Yeah, true.
Like,
I'm sure he covered his tracks. So,
wow.
Insane. Okay. Anything else on that before the last topic that you're too excited about? I would like to preface. Well, I actually don't want to preface. I kind of just want to talk and have a conversation. I would love your input too, which is why we're talking about this today. So March 1st is this Saturday, and I am starting quote unquote prep. I am starting prep. I'm treating it like any other bodybuilding prep I've ever done. My last show, I'm just going to talk you through my own brain process and give me your honest feedback and how you're feeling and thinking about it, and try to remove the Julia bias of just wanting me to step on stage. Okay. Because I feel like I already know your responses. My last show was 3 years ago, which feels crazy because that went by so fast.
And that was the one that we did together.
Yeah, that was NPC Nationals. What's that one called?
Dude,
they all have specific names.
It was either in South or North Carolina. Yeah, it was in one of the Carolinas.
I didn't place as expected. And I think the thing is, I don't know how to explain this other than the fact that that was my last show. And in my head, that was my last show ever.
Really?
Well, now, yeah, because I'm like, oh, I'm never going back. So for the last 3 years, I was like, that was my last show ever. And I didn't know it was going to be my last show ever. I wanted to keep prepping that year. I was just a little too unhealthy where my coach decided to have me reverse instead. And then I just never went back. So there is something in me that's going, I haven't gotten that lean in 3 years. I haven't pushed myself to certain limits in 3 years. I've gotten really comfortable, which also means I've gotten really healthy and had a really good balance. So I really like my physique right now. I really like my relationship with myself, with food, all of the things. I do feel like I've done a lot of maturing and actual aging in the last 3 years, obviously, where I just want to see what I would even look like, what my physique would even look like at a 3 week out point, right? So either way, I'm going to be prepping to the point of I could step on a stage if I wanted to step on a stage. I'm going to treat it like it's a prep. And the way I kind of view it is almost how you did your prep last year. I thought was perfect, where you knew you were doing a show. Yeah. It was just kind of we'll see what show once we get there. And there is something so nice about that, where before we started filming, I talked a little bit Maddie Furberg, and also I don't want to mess up her last name, Sabrina Nick also did this, where they just stepped out on stage. And no one knew they were competing. I'm sure their circle knew, but social media didn't know what show they were doing or anything like that. And that is sounding kind of enticing to me. Yes. But I'm conflicted because I would love to document it for YouTube. I've never been able to do that. I didn't really have a platform the last time I competed. So that's where my confliction is I think I'm just going to prep. I'm not going to say what show I'm doing or when I'm doing it, if I'm doing it.
People still going to want to follow along. You don't need to give them a date.
Yeah. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Oh yeah, people didn't know when I was competing until I absolutely knew. Yeah. And I love doing it that way. Not only because what is annoying about, I guess, when you become a pro is especially a wellness pro,
they put it everywhere.
There's certain pages that watch when you're competing and stuff like that. And there is it's a little annoying. And when you're prepping and you don't do social media, there's not added pressure. Yep. You know what I mean? It's only yourself. But when you choose to put yourself on social media, it's going to come. Yeah. People are excited for you. They want to follow the journey. They're also excited for you to step on stage. Yeah. And you have to know okay, that's a choice that I'm willing to make. But man, I felt so much better when I was just I picked one.
Well, exactly. I'm I think I'm just going to be aimlessly prepping, aimlessly cutting, which is exciting in itself because then I don't even have the pressure I'm putting on myself of having an end date yet. Mm-hmm. And I think I might get to that potentially 3-4 week out zone. And if there is a show coming up, I might do it. I might share that I'm doing it, or I might just show up at that show and not say a word about it and post it after the fact and after, because I think since I've never prepped in a public eye, and not saying my platform's like huge by any means, but I know a lot more people care now than they did all the times I competed in the past. Because at the time, like I definitely didn't take social media seriously. I didn't post on YouTube. I didn't do all the things. And I would love to document it for myself and other competitors. But at the same time, I am fearful of that pressure and me saying I'm definitely stepping on a stage this year. And if I don't, like that, I don't know, that scares me or like intimidates me, I guess, where I don't want to let anyone else down either. So I think just saying loosely, I'm starting prep on Saturday. I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see how I'm looking and how I'm feeling. I personally, more than anything else, just want the challenge for myself where I haven't had that level of structure and routine in 3 years. Yep. So I'm excited to just see how my physique reacts, how I feel, and like how I look.
Especially like I could correct me if I'm wrong. Is there like a fear that you'll undo all of the work that you have done 3 years of? Because like we've talked about this in a lot of episodes. Like it's the reason that Kendall is taking it so seriously, you know, and like it is so easy for me to be like it's just so excited and do it, but I'm glad that she is, and this is the level of care that I feel like other people should take into consideration. And there might be people listening that's like, why is she making such a like?
Yeah, I understand I'm an overthinker, but I'm also an over planner.
It is a serious thing. Like you put your body through a lot, especially there's the added element. Like if you do choose to do it on social media, it's not just a like, oh, like I'm going to do a show. Like there's a lot of things to consider. And you have spent 3 years really working on your mental health, your physical, you have a good relationship with food. So there's one side where it's like, oh, like, I don't want to like undo that. But there's also the other side of you're freaking ready. You've spent.
That is how I kind of feel.
You're ready to handle any of the things that could potentially pop up. Because
and I
you've
think
put all the work in.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I think I'm excited more than anything just to like push myself again. And I mean, I guess this is also a testament to any listener who maybe hasn't decided if you're ready or wanting to step on stage or return to stage if you're in the same spot as me. I think just like, why not prep for yourself? That's what it's about anyway. And if you decide to step on a stage, you step on a stage. Yeah. So that's kind of the other duality of like, well, if I'm getting that lean anyway, I might as well step on a stage. But I fully think I'm just going to listen to myself and my body and how I'm feeling. Where if I get to a place where mentally, it's not that I can't handle it. It's just like, I don't want to push myself to where I was the last time. Because the last prep I ever did ended poorly just in how I handled it and how I handled my reverse and how I treated myself. And I truly think I've grown to a point where that will never happen again. But it is that lingering fear, what you were saying of like, if I feel like I'm getting to that point where I'm being like a little too aggressive there, I might pull back a little. And not to say I won't compete later in the year. I'm just not setting out a show date right now. Yeah. But I'm excited either way.
It's like instead of you're prepping for a date, you're prepping for when your body is ready. And it's like letting your body be ready going into a show, because I had projected show dates in my head for this year. And, you know, I had them in the back of my head, but I didn't tell anybody. And once I kind of just like let it go and was like, well, whenever my physique is ready. And I remember when my coach messaged me, he's like, you're ready. We need to do this one. Yeah. I was like, what? Like it was kind of like exciting.
I was with you too. And it was literally like, oh, next weekend. And it's like, huh?
Yeah, he was. And I remember like kind of getting all this stuff together and it was a little stressful, but
it's exciting.
But it was really exciting because the pressure was relieved. And like we already put so much pressure on ourselves enough as it is to compete. And then like the added seemingly pressure that everyone on social media is giving you, even though ultimately, if you don't do it, people are going to understand.
I'm sure. I just don't want to say anything definitive yet, except for the fact that I'm starting prep on Saturday and I'm just excited, and I'm excited to have structure of that level again and see how my physique looks.
Are you going to have a coach?
I don't think so. I might just coach myself. I honestly have not decided. I might hire someone this week. But as of right now, I think I'm going to start on my own. I think, again, I'm just so in tune with myself and everything, that I'm confident in that.
Also, this is just putting it out there. If you like, you're knowledgeable enough that I know that you can get yourself to like a certain point, you could always hire Alexa. For like the last, like let's say you hit a point where you're like, okay, I think I could be ready in 4 weeks. Like if that's up what you want to do.
Have someone help me peak.
Be like, yeah, literally, you know, I'm going to have Alexa like help me peak for, Alexa's our Figure Pro friend. And and I love her.
She's so smart.
Yeah. And she's just so
maybe I'll just talk to her in general about it and just get her thoughts. But I'm excited. I'm more excited to just like be really like diced. I haven't had like true abs in a while, and I did a little cut towards the end of last year, and my body was responding really well to pretty high calories and not crazy cardio. That fake mock prep I did for 1 week got me more results than I ever thought it would. So I think that like reassured me of like, one, you can handle this workload, and two, your body's going to respond positively, because I have also really healed my metabolism in the last 3 years.
Ready.
Yeah, so I'm just excited either way to get really shredded. And I will be documenting it on YouTube. I won't be like 20 weeks out, but I will be like first week of prep type of video. So I'm excited.
When's the first episode coming out?
Well, if I'm starting Saturday, I'll probably film like everything as far as like meal prepping and like the protocol I'm going to be following for the first few weeks. And then I don't know. I'm not really structured, as you know.
Yeah.
I'll be structured in fitness, not in my content. I think I'll just post as I want and do photo shoots more frequently, because like it's just exciting. And I'm excited to see, like, it's almost like the woman version of me finally doing this.
Yeah.
Because I felt like such a girl before. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I started competing at 17. Yeah. So like it really is so different, and I'm a very different person. My physique's very different, and I finally have a little bit of muscle maturity that I was definitely lacking back then, where I'm just excited to see how my physique looks. So we'll see.
I'm so excited too, because I mean, literally the last time that Kendall competed, we did a national show together,
which was so fun.
And Zach was both of our coaches during that time, and like that's the last time. And like I'm excited to, whatever happens, like to be there for you during that, because I was just like,
well, I want you to prep too, so I'm not alone. And I know you will at some point, but
there's a chance, because I do have projected like show dates that coach and I have picked out for like the summer, which would give me basically kind of like a full year from stage to stage.
Yeah.
But then again, like I'm going to kind of go at it with the same mindset of waiting for my physique will be ready when it's ready to be ready.
Yeah.
I'm at like, we already got my blood work in. I'm at the healthiest that I have been. He's giving me like the go ahead of like, okay, we can start looking at shows. So we have like 3 general timelines that are like picked out. We don't know which one is going to be. So there's a chance that I'll be starting when you're starting. I mean,
yay.
Like if, hold on.
Well, March is like right now. By the time you're listening to this, it's already March. But I'm definitely easing my way into it. I'm not going to be treating it like I'm 16 weeks out. Like I'm going to be just meal prepping, structured meal plan, doing my cardio, getting used to doing fasted cardio again, because I do it sometimes, but it's not an everyday thing. So I think it's just about like kind of the pre-prep we talked about. So literally I'm following that exact protocol that we talked about, where like 20-ish weeks out, if not more, you kind of just wean your way into like being 100% on it with everything.
We're going to be shredded at the same time.
And then we can do all the cool photo shoots.
Yeah. Oh man, we haven't done that together in, I mean, you've maintained like an incredible physique all year, like
so
for
much.
3 years.
Thanks.
So, but I'm saying like,
but no, I definitely have not been.
There's
like
a different level of leanness
that
like I'll put, if you're comfortable with me sharing the photos of both of us during that time. Sure.
I look so different. So that too, I'm like, oh man, like I felt like I looked like such a baby.
That's before lip fillers.
Before lip filler, before Botox, before I feel like finding my style and identity and who I was. So I'm excited.
Like, yeah, like you said, like you're adult woman, like prep. and you've done so much work with like knowing your body and your mental health that you're in the best position that you can be for whichever thing that you decide.
Either way, all I know is I'm getting shredded. So I'm excited about that, and we'll see what the final stage ends up being
right now. So you're ready to
I'll
watch.
definitely share it on Instagram too, just not like obviously as detailed. So mostly YouTube. Yeah.
Yay! It's gonna be fun.
Anyway, that's all I have. That's all the tea. That's all the updates. Just a reminder to be safe out there on social media because people are crazy and they be lying.
They be lying
or scamming or hacking.
Lying, scamming. Yeah.
So just be careful.
And fake booties. Dang it. Anyways, guys, that was good. I'm so excited. Now I'm just thinking about all of the things we're going to do. I'm not going to be too excited. Don't want to scare her away.
Well, no, you can be excited now because I'm officially starting. Okay. And I think sharing it with the podcast family and with the YouTube family, it makes it feel more real where there's still some conversations I haven't had yet. Like I've asked my boyfriend his supportive level on this and he's obviously super supportive. But I still haven't like debriefed him on like, this is how the next like several months is about to look. And this is how I'm probably going to be and act. And I might be really tired by the end of this, but
see, I think also if you're a introvert and you don't go out and do too many social things anyways, bodybuilding is perfect for you. And also the added layer of if your partner is also like that, great. Like you're already like
he's not dragging me anywhere. Like we're good.
So I think this is going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Next week we could talk about, I guess, how you feel the first couple of days too. And we'll talk about the Arnold. It'll be a little behind because we're always a week in advance, but I'm literally leaving to the Arnold
like right now. So you got to
go. So yeah. And as always, guys, we love you all so much and you're more powerful than you think.
Bye.